Now to new developments on that deadly stabbing in Frisco.
Do not make a decision in this situation. Why didn't you cancel or postpone? But we got the video of Cal Rittenhouse with an AK-47 shooting 3 people in the back.
We have not received a single dime from the Give, Send, Go fundraiser. And we put God first in everything that we do.
Alright, so I wasn't really planning on making a video about this topic, but since I saw so much misinformation being spread online, I thought it'd be good for you guys to hear an unbiased perspective from somebody who has no skin in the game. I'm Hispanic, and even going into the press conference that was held by Karmelo's family, it was clearly used as race bait. And we're not going to forget to talk about the history of Dominic Alexander. Let's get into it. Now, just getting started from what's been released from Karmelo's family as well as a press conference, there doesn't seem to be a good defense of Karmelo's actions on using a knife besides calling it self-defense and using race as a way to fuel the fight. There's even a police report of Karmelo asking the police officer if he has a good self-defense case, which will not help his case at all. And now I'm going to show you guys a short clip of Dominic Alexander, the spokesperson of Karmelo's family. I see people calling him a lawyer, but he's not a lawyer at all. But anyways, in this clip, Dominic talks about the victim, the child, the teenager that got stabbed in his heart, and his father, implying a lot of things and implying that he may have dirt on the victim. Here's that clip.
We have not attacked. We have not shared the information that was shared with us about Austin Metcalf because we respect the dignity of life.
Now, personally, I'm not a fan of this guy suggesting he has some information on Austin that could help his case, just for the simple fact that I don't think there's any reason, even if Austin was a racist himself, that could justify murdering a teenager in cold blood. And besides this secret and quote-unquote damaging information they have on Austin Metcalf, this press conference was pretty lackluster. Now, first I want to talk about one of the 2 main arguments made in this press conference to help Anthony's case. And in this argument, he blamed the school entirely for what happened because they continued the event even though it was raining outside. And before I go ahead and play the clip, this pushes the boundaries of the supporters for Anthony. They know they have a lot of people on their side, regardless of the facts, regardless of what's actually happening, regardless of what's actually being reported legitly, that he feels that he could get away with saying something so idiotic. But I'm gonna let you guys decide. I'm gonna play the clip right now. Let's go.
I'm trying to find how many of y'all have asked the superintendent or one single board of trustee, why didn't you cancel or postpone? With weather in that magnitude, you couldn't have a track meet in rain or thunderstorm or clouds. Y'all are the media. Ask your journalists, your weather journalists, how the weather was that day and that time. Y'all do that research. Because as a person who is the administrator of your children, you are responsible for the safety of the children.
Before I get my genuine thoughts about this, you guys saw his face when he said that. He knows he said something crazy just now. If you guys are not fully registering what he's trying to say, he's putting the blame on the school for allowing the kids to be in that section even though it was raining and giving them an opportunity for this to happen. We cannot blame the school for what happened because they didn't cancel the event because of rain. As someone who played in high school and also played sports in college, we know that some of our events happen in rain, snow, etc. When I practiced in high school for football, we practiced in snow. And if while we were practicing in the snow, I decided to take my own free will and attack a teammate or kill someone on the street, all the onus would be on me and not the school for allowing us to practice outside. And what he's trying to do is relieve the pressure given to Karmelo for doing what he did and put it on the school because he knows people follow him blindly and will support this kid no matter what. And now we could get into what I guess is the second defense of Karmelo. I say I guess because he describes Kyle Rittenhouse and another person who are both white, making this completely race related and describes the situation completely falsely.
These racist bigots try to prevent us from standing up for our baby, our boy. He should be afforded the same rights that Kyle Rittenhouse had, Daniel Penna, and all of the people who have claimed whatever their defense was. He should be afforded the same right. Nobody in the public media has one video camera, but we got the video of Kyle Rittenhouse with an AK-47 shooting 3 people in the back. We got that. And he raised more than $2 million publicly, and nobody said anything. So since they tried to come for us, I call for the community's overwhelming support for this fund.
Now, when the situation of Kyle Rittenhouse first came out, I was completely against his side. However, when the facts came out, there was no possible way you could go against this kid. Now, I'm not going to fully explain the situation with Kyle because there's so much information online already doing it and showing facts. However, you can see pictures of Kyle on the floor and someone holding a gun to him. And if he didn't shoot first, he could have possibly died there. That was clearly self-defense. And not to mention that one of those people was a pedophile. That doesn't mean that it's okay to kill someone that's a pedophile. But if you're committing acts of pedophilia and then you're also assaulting somebody, it is what it is. Now, the reason why this defense is so important to Dominic is because he could divide the races further and say, how can you be black and not defend Anthony when Kyle Rittenhouse did the same thing and got away with it? You cannot stand for this injustice. Please be on our side. You need to be on our side for your own community. I know there was a lot of information being spread about the money they raised being used to fund the property. However, personally, when I heard this information, I thought that was so ludicrous. How could anybody buy a house in such a short period of time? If you have ever been through the process of buying a new home, you know it's such a long process. But I'm going to show you guys a clip of the mother talking about just that.
The claims that were used about the public donation to buy a home or anything else are completely false. We have not received a single dime from the Give, Send, Go fundraiser. And the co-founder has stated that clearly. In the reality, we were just notified yesterday that we could begin to withdraw funds. And it still takes several days to receive those funds.
Now, this should clear up a lot of misinformation that's being spread online, and hopefully you guys learned a lot of new things here. Now, let's put into light some dark information that Dominic definitely didn't want out and show you guys who we're dealing with at this moment. Now, I'm not sure if Karmelo's family knew about Dominic's shady past, but they need to start looking for someone else to be the spokesperson and take their time to vet them properly. Because back in 2009, Dominic was convicted for shaking a child until he became unconscious and hitting the mother of that child. And here I'm going to show you a document explaining this and even more things that this person has done in the past that clearly shows he's not a good person himself. Now, here's an article from the New York Post showing the dark past of Dominic Alexander. Now, we talked about him shaking a kid, almost killing a kid, but let's go through everything else that they found on him. This horrible guy that needs to be separated from Karmelo if he wants to have any chance of winning this case, which I already believe are slim to none. But this guy obviously makes it a lot worse. So first, during his probation period, Alexander was indicted of felony forgery charges in 2013. In 2017, the minister was arrested in felony theft charges for $2,500 to $30,000, garnering a possible sentence of 20 years in prison, which he didn't serve, clearly. And in his most recent legal infraction in 2019, right before COVID, felony assault charges in a domestic violence case against his baby mama. This guy is a horrible person. He shouldn't even be around children. He shouldn't even be around the public, in my opinion. I'm not sure how he got into this position. Clearly there's something wrong here, and this guy needs to be far away from Karmelo Anthony.